Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Jomi, the Explainer General. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. We are Old Man Van, he of the receding, resurgent hairline. We are Coat Baby Chuck, 24-karat closer, a.k.a. the brunch hottie. Together, we are known as the Midnight Boys. Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and Donald Trump's TikTok. Jomi?
Tough day to be out here talking about Donald Trump's TikTok. But if you follow us on Instagram, you saw that we announced something cool that's coming to the YouTube channel next week. So stay tuned just a little bit later for more info on that.
Oh, so Jomi, what a great tease.
That's what we do.
Wow. Skittle with the tease. We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R episode on youtube.com/Ringerverse program. And reminders, on Monday, House of R is giving you their deep dive on Captain America Brave New World. On Tuesday, the Ringerverse crew unites for our first Dungeons and Dragons campaign with Ringer Quest on Spotify and YouTube. Steve?
Yes, sir. We all got together for our very first role-playing tabletop adventure. We filmed this back in December, and it's kind of a dream come true. Everybody had a great time, and we hope you all enjoy it.
How long was the final edit, Steve?
3 hours.
God damn.
Wow.
It's a 3-hour video?
Yes. Lock in.
Lock in, guys. Like, lock in, guys. Lock the
It's a lot of
fuck
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I had a great time.
Yes.
I had a great time. Okay. On Wednesday, the Midnight Boys are celebrating Black History Month with the Blackest Movies Draft.
Why that
Blackest
face?
movies.
Why that face?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing. I'm
You
saying
made a
this
face.
because
You made a face.
You definitely made a face.
no, I made a face. There's something to be said, but nothing nefarious. I want the people to be on the lookout for Steve Areno in this draft.
Did I surprise some people on that
well,
draft?
people-
I
Maybe.
feel like this deserves a spoiler alert. We shouldn't be spoiling.
Yeah, let's not spoil
No,
the
no,
draft.
no, no, no,
Let
no, no,
people-
no, 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 no. This is a tease.
Yes.
There's a difference between a spoiler and a tease.
I don't know if our audience knows that.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
at this point, who gives a fuck? But it's between a spoiler and a tease. You're on the lookout for Stevie Rini. He might have made his ancestors proud. Actually, no, he probably disappointed his ancestors.
Yeah, no, I probably
Yeah,
made
he made
my
our
ancestors
ancestors
angry.
Hey, speaking
Yeah.
of Steve, real quick. Steve, I see the Nigerian jersey drip.
Oh yeah, that's courtesy of Jomi.
You brought that out in February. I see
It's
what's
still
happening
February.
right now.
I'm still on the
I
clock.
see what's going on. I got it. Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, Jomi, that Nigerian jersey has nothing to do with Black History Month. That's something here for Black Americans, FBA.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah,
There's already going to be enough division today with
So-
this podcast.
so
Can we
that
not?
has-
The
so
diaspora-
I'm sure that there's a Nigerian month that you guys have, whatever, but that right there has nothing to do. Steve, if you want a shirt that recognizes the Black Panthers or something like that, I'll send you
Okay.
one. But
Okay.
that right there, shout out to our brothers in Nigeria.
Jomi,
Sure.
I support you for giving Steve his vibranium wings. Okay, so
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Steve, you know what? When you put that on, you look like a straight up Afrikaner. You do.
It doesn't look
Oh.
bad on me. I
He looked like
it.
Cole Palmer. That's what he looked
Yeah.
like with that on.
You look like an Afrikaner. You look like somebody who's taking somebody's land. Okay. But on today's show, we're giving you our instant reactions to Captain America Brave New World. And by God, we're here.
We are here.
does it feel a little bit like we're thugging it out? This feels like old Midnight Boys. Me in New York, we're all separate.
It feels, yeah. It feels like, yeah, by God, we're here. Okay? I'm here. Charles is here. Jomi is here and Steve is here. By God.
Are these Marshawn Lynch vibes? We're here so we don't get fined. kind
No.
of stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I
Whoa,
love
I'm
this
excited
job.
to have here.
Don't do
I'm
that.
excited to have a job.
All right.
Don't do that.
I love this job.
Me too.
I love covering
Me too.
the content. I love the content. I love watching the content. I love it. But by God, are we here? Yeah, guys, are we here right now?
We're here right
We
now.
are here.
We've never
We
been
are
more
fucking
here.
here.
right now.
By
Unprecedented
God.
levels of here.
We're so here.
It's unbelievable how here we actually are.
I don't think that there's ever been a time in the history of the Midnight Boys where we've been more here.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Chuck,
Facts.
spoiler warning right now for all Cap and MCU content.
We're getting ready to talk about Captain America Brave New World. You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming.
We need a Midnight Manifest.
Do we?
Fine. No manifest.
No, I have it prepared. But damn
okay.
near, they could just watch the trailer because that's basically the whole movie.
Okay, but here's the deal. Before we get into the instant reactions, I want everybody on this podcast to tell the people out there where they are right now.
Here. Duh.
Chuck.
All right. This is your Midnight Manifest for Captain America, Brave New World. Directed by Julius Onah, screenplay by Rob Edwards, Malcolm Spellman, Dalen Muson, Julius Onah, Peter Glanz, starring Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, Giancarlo Esposito, Tim Blake Nelson. All right. 8 movies later, the MCU finally decides to explain some of the Celestial bullshit. Turns out it's full of adamantium, and President Thunderball Ross promises he's going to evenly divide the precious metal across the globe. To do that, he wants Captain Falcon on his side, but Anthony Mackie has his doubts about leading Trump's Avengers. All that is thrown out the window when a brainwashed Isaiah Bradley tries to assassinate Ross. If you don't remember who Isaiah is, he popped up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's the forgotten Captain America who was experimented on by the state. Mackie and his new baby Falcon go on a hunt to clear Bradley. They discover a conspiracy that includes Gus Fring, a random Hulk villain called the Leader, and a bunch of other shenanigans. Bucky momentarily returns to remind Anthony Mackie that a black man can do whatever a white Captain America can before returning to his congressional campaign. And then Captain America goes to fight President Ross, who turns into the Red Hulk after being experimented on by the Leader. Captain America stops Red Hulk with the power of friendship, and the new leader of the MCU gets to bask in the cherry blossoms. That has been your Midnight Manifest for Captain America, Brave New World. Now, Dan,
Yes.
I want you to lead us off
Uh-huh.
with the first MCU installment that we've gotten this year.
Yeah.
How did Captain America Brave New World fare at the Cineplex for you?
Okay. So the movie is not good. And that's okay. Okay. It's not a horrific, horrible disaster of a movie, but it's not to me. It's not to me. Remember, superheroes on the screen, Van's going to try to enjoy himself. The movie is not good. The movie is not good in a way that is very troubling, because I can look at the movie and see a film that could have been good, but it would have taken, just to be honest with you, more talented filmmakers. The Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America, I actually started reading it when Charles and I did Captain America, when we did the Falcon and the Winter Soldier back in the day. I actually went on Comixology and started reading the run from Sam Wilson as Captain America to supplement some of my knowledge on it. I didn't know too much about his run as Captain America or the passing of the mantle, so I read a lot of it, and I was happy to see that when they made Sam Cap, they actually made him a street level Captain America. They pared it down a little bit for someone who didn't have the serum, and someone who didn't have the time with the shield that Steve Rogers had. They made him more of a street level Captain America, but it was the comic was good. It was very lean. It was very linear. It was rough and ragged in the edges. It was a little bit more pulled away from some of the big adventures that you had seen Captain America have. And that to me was the correct way to go about it, being that you were breaking somebody in and reorienting the character of Captain America around someone having the mantle that's new. It seemed like they attempted to do that with this movie, but they just weren't good enough. And when I say they weren't good enough, I'm not talking about the individual talents of any one particular person making the film. I'm talking about the uh, creative engine at Marvel and where that is right now. I'm talking about other things that happened during the shooting of this, be it the strikes, be it some of the other setbacks, some of the other rejiggering of things at Marvel. They just didn't have what they needed to take the character and redefine it, which is what this movie would have had to have done. They kind of, you see the movie being smaller, you see it being grainier and grittier at times, but they don't commit to anything. It's a tense political thriller that is ridiculously predictable. You can tell that Giancarlo Esposito is just shoehorned into the movie, has no real weight, that character in any way. And just too many cooks, not enough faith in whatever that they were doing, and just a poor execution all around. I mean, there's not one part of the movie to me that succeeds. Now, it doesn't fail spectacularly. It's not like, I've seen worse, but there's not one part of the movie to me that succeeds. There's not one thing that I come away from the movie going, oh, they got that right. And that's a shame.
Mint Boys, Jomi?
Yeah, man. It's gotta be honest with you guys. I really wanted to like this movie. Sitting in the theater, I could see the vision, but as a whole, to Van's point, it just doesn't work. It's a thriller that's not really thrilling. Again, very, very, very predictable. Nothing surprised me, nothing shocked me. If I had to give the movie something, I thought the battle at Tiamat was kind of interesting. The aerial duel, the shield acting like Red Wing, using the shield to deflect the bullets while Sam was disarming the missile. I was like, oh, that's cool. But other than that, no motion. Didn't really feel anything. Again, this is a movie that me, Oluwajomi Adeniran, I should love this. It's supposed to have intrigue and spy stuff. Like I'm supposed to be 10 toes down. Y'all know how much I like Tenet, right? This movie doesn't do anything that makes you go, man, I can't wait to see more of this stuff. I can't wait to get more in the larger world. I think that if the movie we got at the theater was their starting point, right? This was like the first draft, then maybe they could build on something. Maybe like they could have put something together that worked. But the fact that this was the best they can do, it's a pretty tough indictment on the people. And it's tough because, again, this is a film that I really wanted to enjoy, but at the end of the day, it just didn't come together fully for me.
There's such a major feeling of a movie that has fallen victim to the Marvel machine the most, and it's this movie. And I don't know, it's a bummer because there's a lot in this movie that I see the beginnings of something that could have been interesting and could have been compelling, but all that we got and all that I saw were the visible holes, and the idea that this movie was clearly hacked to pieces from something that was either not working for the top brass at Marvel or something that was lost in the shuffle post strikes, post production, post something. Every single thing in this movie suffered from something that, based on the talent on screen and both the talent seemingly behind the camera, should have risen to higher for. And it bums me out because we look at where Sam could have been at this point in his MCU tenure, and I'm really bummed out at the fact that, frankly, this movie underserves Anthony Mackie to a degree that genuinely bums me out, because I had reassessed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I had looked back on a couple of the movies in the Marvel catalog that I kind of thought were at the bottom of the list here, to kind of assess where we are in 2025 after Brave New World. And sadly, it's discouraging, but I'm not fully discouraged about the fact that Marvel can kind of come back from this, but there's no denying that this is a massive misstep.
Tough.
Yeah.
You've been waiting to get this off. Clear out.
Yeah.
The vibes are down, though.
You've been waiting to get this out. You've been waiting to get this off. My boy, here you go.
Nah, the product is so stepped on, y'all. The streets is done. It's just, I've never been in an icier movie theater. Not one joke landed. This is a movie where no one stood on business. Everything from top to bottom, from the direction to the screenplay to the action to the story beats, is so empty. It's one of those things where it's a lot of people worked hard on this movie, and leaving it, I had this feeling of, I don't even know if there's one person to blame. Because nothing works of this movie. It's not I'm not going to come in here and be yo, Anthony Mackie sucked, because I'm the script wasn't there. And I can't be oh, the directing sucked, because I'm just well, the script and a bunch of the stars and a bunch of the plot beats just make no sense. There's no part of this movie where I was watching it where it felt like they had any faith in a Black Captain America, in the Hulk nonsense of it all, in the Serpent Society nonsense of it all, in the greater MCU project. Just even watching this movie, there was a feeling of, why are these characters talking and behaving like this? This feels like a Netflix movie. It does not, because like you guys, I went back to Winter Soldier, Civil War, a bunch of other things, just to be were the movies always like this? Were they written like this? Were they acted like this? And the answer is no. They had character arcs. There was emotional beats. It was not always perfect. Some of the CGI was wonky, but
people spoke like human beings was the most important thing. There's nothing but exposition in this movie, and there's a moment where you see a fraction of that, and I'm
even
Anthony
there. Mackie's performance in Winter Soldier, it's so funny how it was that was a far more grounded performance. He still has the charm. He still has a lot of the things that make Anthony Mackie. But just comparing how far and cartoonish I think the MCU has gotten was just a complete and utter bummer. I'll be so honest.
Well, if you go back and you look at some of the other films that we're talking about, the MCU is able to do a couple of things in these movies. They're able to ground their character in, it's not necessarily the classic hero's journey all the time, but they're able to ground their character in a sense of being overwhelmed, right? The moment that you take Cap and first of all, the first thing that the movie does in Winter Soldier, I'm not comparing this movie to Winter Soldier, but if Winter Soldier to me is our contemporary introduction to Steve Rogers, Captain America, then there's going to be some comparison in there. So allow me a little latitude from the boys and from the audience. The first thing that Winter Soldier does when they're introducing us to the Cap that we will see, Cap's arc takes place in his movie, which doesn't really get there. It's just an origin story. It gets us to where we need to be, right? We understand the Cap Bucky relationship. Then he comes of age in Avengers a little bit, right? By the end of the movie, you see Captain America being who we know Captain America to be, which is the only mortal that Thor says can lead him into battle. By the end of the movie, Cap is commanding the Avengers. Boom, we see that. He's the captain of the Avengers. Winter Soldier has a different job to do. What Winter Soldier does is convince us that Captain America is a cool, awesome character. That's what the movie does. The first thing they do in that movie is show you Captain America straight bussing ass. It starts off with Captain America being as cool as you have seen him. He dives off of a plane with no parachute, falls into the water, coolest shit ever, and then starts wrecking people on a boat. This movie tries that same thing and fails. It tries an action situation with our Captain America to show you that our guy is a badass, and he doesn't look like that much of a badass. It doesn't work, right? Then the very next thing that happens is you see Captain America being small in his world when they take him down into the Project Insight ground one, the whole place where it's happening. Steve looks tiny. And all of these, the shot itself, Steve looks small. He's next to Nick Fury. All of these big, huge Project Insight helicarriers, they're huge. They're gigantic. He visually looks like someone that is small in this big world that he doesn't understand. It looks like the chips are against him. He is going up against something, and you can see it. Oh my God, look, all of this stuff is happening. Everything in this film, you're supposed to not know what's happening, even though we know that Red Hulk is coming for the entire movie. You're supposed to feel a connection, even though we know these characters seem weirdly unfamiliar with one another. By the way, the worst performance in the history of Harrison Ford. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen Harrison Ford less powerful, less charismatic, less anything. And I am going to say something. This is a movie that needed a better director, and that's not a diss. That's just a fact. Now, I don't know why the movie came off the way that it did, but the reality is, if you're going to do a thriller like this, you have to have expert directing, because the pacing and the shots that are in the movie, they have to give you that sizzle and keep you. It's not an easy thing to do.
Well, can I push back on that? Because I don't
Sure.
disagree. I think the directing in this movie is not good. It is quite poor. But how much can you blame the director when there was clearly so many mandates in this movie where it's like, we're calling it a political thriller, but it can't be a political thriller because there's no politics in this movie. I don't know what fucking Thunderbolt Ross, I don't even know his political affiliation. I don't know what he believes as a president. Then on top of that, you have 3 villains that don't work. And it's like, to your point, it's like with the Giancarlo Esposito of it all, those scenes are so tacked on. You're like, the only person that Giancarlo Esposito was talking to at any point is fucking Anthony Mackie. It's just the 2 of them in a room every single time. And it's like, when you tack on the Eternals of it all, the Hulk nonsense of it all, I'm like, how can you get a tight political thriller that a lot of the teaser trailers made us think, when you have a bunch of MCU bullshit that I'm like, none of this really works together. None of it really makes any sense together.
And let me tell you why I disagree. If you're telling me right now that, the concept of the film is actually smart to me. So they have to introduce adamantium into the MCU because you need it to make it part of the X-Men world. It's smart to say that the Celestials have adamantium in them, and that there's a fight for the resource, and there's an international incident over it, right? That conceit to me, that jumping off point to me, that's smart. That's smart. Okay. The politics of it don't necessarily have to do, to me, with whether or not Thunderbolt Ross is a Democrat or Republican, whatever. It has to do. The politics are, the president is doing something illegal. Somebody finds this out. The president is doing something for his own gain. Somebody finds this out. The president has the Thunderbolt Ross using the leader to make him the president. Actually, conceptually, is cool. That's actually like that's conceptually, that's cool. The leader being someone that the president has used all of his brain power to take him from being a wartime general. To me, I understand what you're saying. To me, all of that stuff fits within the realm of the political, the political thriller, but just none of it actually makes any sense. None of it actually works. You don't actually go ahead, Jim.
I think it not working is the thing that is most damning, because I mean, you brought up the Winter Soldier comp, and Brave New World is kind of like if somebody tried to draw Winter Soldier from memory, but they were in the dark, you know? And the thing that I think they try to humanize Thunderbolt Ross by making him want a relationship with Betty. Like the whole movie is like, I'm doing this for Betty. You know, I want to get closer to Betty, this and this. And on paper, that's supposed to work, right? You know, a father wants to get closer to his daughter.
We haven't seen Betty in 20 years.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
I thought that conversation on the phone was AI at one point. When he's like,
we haven't seen
literally,
Betty
I was
in
like,
20 years.
Yeah, like it doesn't move me. I'm sorry. That doesn't move me. If I had seen Betty along the way, probably, but I haven't seen Betty since 2008. Y'all forgot about her. Like that has no motion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I understand what you guys are saying in terms of just like, yeah, if you write it all out in a Wikipedia summary, I get how someone makes this story, but it's like the leader is supposed to be one of the smartest characters in the MCU, does not come off like that. Like Thunderbolt Ross to become president should be at least charming or charismatic enough for me to be like, okay, I understand how he became president. Harrison Ford is so wooden and is in such his I'm collecting a check bag where I'm just like, how does this even make sense? Even if you are going to I think at one point they're like, fuck it. We're just going to market this movie as a Red Hulk movie. We saw 90% of all the Red Hulk footage in the trailers. How does that make any sense? Like at what point does anybody go like, yo, what are we doing, y'all? Either make a Red Hulk movie or make a Captain America movie. Don't try to make both, because when you try to make both, it ends up just being a whole like pot of nothing.
And that's where I think that's the biggest problem. It's not, I can't point to any one direct thing that is the problem, other than the fact that this feels like a filmmaking, not by a team, but by committee, where we don't have enough of this to sell somebody on a movie, so we have to add this. Well, this is too hard, or this isn't being executed properly enough, so we'll throw in an action scene. We can't get this character from point A to point B, so we'll have them talking while they're in motion, just to justify the fact that they're going somewhere. None of it feels cohesive and like, frankly, good. And any moments that I get to see of either personality, style, or charm from either the film or its characters, it comes at the cost of just pushing the ball forward, rather than actually letting characters sit in what they should actually be comfortable with. I wanted to talk about the only like fraction, like the crack in the window of sunshine that I got in this movie, and it was when Sam and Bucky get back together. And it isn't even the fact that they're talking, it's the fact that when a scene is ending, it's punctuated by them just hanging out and joking around. And there's a moment where you feel the movie just like untighten and loosen up, and you see characters become people. And you see Sebastian Stan and Mackie actually vibing and having a level of chemistry that is completely foreign to this movie. And it's the stuff like that that is actually missed, and you get to see that sauce, even if just for a second. And that's the thing that I really, really needed, and it doesn't show itself at all in this movie.
The thing, you know what worked for me? The bigger Falcony Captain America scenes. Like the Tiamat scene where he's flying around as Captain America Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to make me think that there could be a version of Falcon that could exist as Captain America with the wings and all of that stuff. That stuff was pretty cool. This movie, to me, either needed to be a much, much smaller movie. They spent a lot of money on it, but You can tell that a lot of that money was in reshoots and all of that stuff. This needed to either be a much, much smaller movie, which I still don't think the MCU is comfortable doing. I still don't think the MCU is comfortable in taking a movie and making it smaller. This needed to be either a much, much smaller movie or a much, much bigger movie. Much, much bigger movie. And when I say much, much bigger, I mean, you needed, it's just, you needed a bunch of Avengers in this. You would have needed a movie where Sam was going around actually recruiting the Avengers to be. You needed a bunch of people in it. You needed to Civil War the movie, either that or make this into a film that is almost just about Sam and Isaiah Bradley, and even going back and helping Isaiah Bradley get retribution or some type of small deal, some type of small thing where it's Sam and Isaiah on, because I like that dynamic between those two guys on a mission together. But trying to do what they did, which is a high degree of difficulty, it just, you have to nail it, and they didn't have things coming together. Did anything work in the movie for you, Charles, at all?
No. I feel bad. Even here's the thing. You know a movie's bad when I fell asleep 2 times during the fucking Celestial fight because I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, at that point, I had thrown up my hands because first, I guess the thing that was kind of so egregious to me is that you can tell the parts of this movie that are stitched together. You can tell that the whole entire first 15 to 20 minutes of this movie was reshot. I thought I was going to have an aneurysm when they were basically doing the kind of like, here's a 10-minute exposition dump where Harrison Ford is basically going to explain to you all this MCU bullshit. Then the new fight that I think they filmed where Giancarlo Esposito is running away from Cap, that looked bad. I think the chemistry between Mackie and the new Falcon I think the new Falcon is not great. And I hate to say that, but it was, I don't know how you can be a 30-year-old.
Honestly, I thought he was one of the bright spots in the movie.
I think so. I think so too, and it's only because of the fact that like they had prior chemistry in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which again I've seen before, and it's like, oh, that exists.
I disagree. Yeah. When he did the little dance in the opening after he beat the guy, I'm just like,
listen,
right,
I'm not saying it wasn't
in the movie that was. He was having fun. Like the only person in the movie that was having any fun.
He was the only person who had a good time there.
He seemed like he was the only person.
And there's nothing against the actor. It's just I couldn't vibe with him.
I thought like of everyone, I thought he was one of the bright spots of the movie.
Okay, when he was in the hospital bed.
Yeah, you can't.
The
problem with that was it was cool. But you can't get on here and say that when you grow up, you wanted to be Falcon. That's not true.
Nah.
Nobody wanted. Of all the fake stuff that happened in the movie.
Let me tell you something.
Of all the stuff that happened in the movie that didn't happen.
Where Iron Man exists.
Yeah, you didn't want to be Falcon.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I disagree. Let me tell you why. We was at the gym one time back in the day. I'll never forget this. Well, I realized people really have their own little niches. We was in the gym one time back in the day, and everybody was in there hooping. There was this younger guy that was in there hooping, and he was like, yeah, man, when there was a bunch of younger guys that were being there hooping with us. They all ended up being pretty good basketball players. Man, this is like 2008, and one of the guys went, yeah, man, I see myself as like a Andre Miller in the league. I remember one of the older guys, Monty, went, nigga, that's it? That's what you got?
That's all you aspire to be?
Hey, respect Andre Miller.
This is not Andre Miller.
Respect Andre Miller.
Andre Miller made it to the NBA and had a great career, but he was like...
Elementary legend.
He was like, young buck, you gotta... He's like, I get it. He's not even Andre Miller aspired to be Andre Miller.
God damn.
Oh, wow.
This is what he said. He said Andre Miller got to a point to where he realized he was Andre Miller and he got good at being that. But he's like, I guarantee you, Andre Miller came up thinking, I'm going to be Magic. I'm going to be Bob, whatever. I'm going to be Penny, whoever. But he was like, no, if you set the bar at Andre Miller, then you only gonna become you, and nobody wants that. And then we all fucking laughed. So all I'm saying is, it's guys out there that look at
That want to be the Falcon?
That look at all the Avengers and go, I'm Falcon. I'm telling you, there's guys out there that look up to Falcon. Falcon is a very important kid.
You mean beta ass niggas? Can you imagine? Yeah, I want to be Falcon, bro. Come on.
Look, we play around with Falcon. Yeah, I don't know that Falcon is I don't know how I would call Falcon a beta ass nigga. You know, if you say some shit like that, you got to fight Falcon. But
here's the thing. Also, I get that they trying to make because this movie, to their credit, went a long way to make Falcon try to look cool. There's no way that the Falcon is pressuring Red Hulk. I'm sorry. That was some bullshit. What? Come on, guys. Really?
It's tough. That's tough. I don't really see it. I don't really see
frankly, it's not you, and this isn't you type ending, talking him down, and I don't know.
So that's supposed to be a superpower. That's supposed to be a superpower.
I get it, and that's nowhere conveyed.
That doesn't move. We saw it in Falcon Winter Soldier. We're seeing it now. I understand that his background is in the counseling, right? They mentioned the movie a bunch of times, right? What does it they say? Don't try to counsel me right now, Sam, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what he does. You know what I mean? Guys, superhero movie. I need these guys to be punching each other when it's all said and done. I get it. He's supposed to talk the Red Hulk down, but just like Falcon Winter Soldier, here it doesn't really work.
I gotta say something, y'all. I think that Falcon, Captain America, should take the heart-shaped herb. Okay,
you got to take the serum.
You got to take the serum.
Take the serum, bro.
So listen. Maybe not the serum. Maybe the serum is too tainted. Okay. Maybe the serum is too tainted.
Bad press with the serum.
Steroids, Barry Bonds, the whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should write it in where he takes the heart-shaped herb. He goes back to the ancestral plane. What happened in this movie, what should have happened in my movie, is that Isaiah should have died.
Okay.
And then he should have taken the heart-shaped herb and he should have seen Isaiah.
Talk to Isaiah.
Why would he be there?
Oh, and then we would have had an amazing flashback of him fighting Bucky in the 50s.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, GNC Cap is not going to work. Okay?
Damn. Hummer H4 Cap isn't going to...
Cap on creatine is not going to work. Every time Cap gets hit, I'm like, it's over for this nigga.
When he popped the shield out of that trunk in the Hummer, I was like, come on.
Bro, you were dying at that, bro. It's product placement. What you mean?
Oh, no, wait, here's the thing. This is what I can't. I can't let this slide. Cap was having trouble with the Jan 6er in the first 15 minutes of the movie. That motherfucker broke his ribs. And I'm supposed to believe 90 minutes, almost 2 hours later, with some vibranium wings, a hope and a dream, he's taking down the Red Hulk. Come on, bro. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Yeah, he needs to get on whatever they was taking in Oakland.
The MCU is known for depowering Hulks. At this point,
that's very true.
Me and Jomi could fuck over a Hulk in the MCU. I really think so. Me and Jomi and Bozeman. Me and Jomi and Bozeman,
light work,
could fuck over. Think about what they've done to Hulks in the MCU.
Oh man,
literally, Bruce Banner Hulk had Tommy John surgery.
Ouch. Well, he got
literally had his arm in a sling.
He got two-pieced by Thanos, and we never saw him again. That was it.
Just punished. Wouldn't even come out to play no more, right? And now you got Red Hulk. Red Hulk lost to the Wakandan tech.
Do y'all think
he lost to a speech? He lost to a speech, bruh. Like literally, Red Hulk lost to a speech. That means, bruh, Obama is fucking over Red Hulk, bruh.
Damn.
In the
Obama
tan
would
suit too.
bruh, Obama would come out right now. You know what I'm saying? He leave. He'll you know why? He could beat Red Hulk over the phone.
Let me be
Obama
clear.
could beat Red Hulk.
Now let
on
me be
FaceTime.
clear, and then just go.
Oh, now let me be clear, Red Hulk.
Do y'all think Bruce Banner was watching that on TV, like all that go down, was like, hey man, that's crazy, bro. That's nuts.
I hope
Good
Bruce
luck.
Banner's on his ayahuasca
Honestly,
retreat and not
I
even
need a
paying
Tom.
attention
It was
to
a
the
Tom
news.
Brady
Wow,
looking
that's
at
crazy.
Mahomes moment for Bruce Banner. Like, dog, I never go out like this.
It's like, oh,
Like,
wouldn't let that
personally?
happen to me though.
Me personally, I will let that slide.
But
Bro. You
also,
got it though.
if I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, I do think it's kind of fucked up that, you know, the politics of this movie are that the white Captain America, he could beat anybody, but the black Captain America basically got to beg Trump to be his friend. Like,
Because
I
he
don't
don't want to
really
do
like that.
drugs. He don't want to get like, brother. I agree with Van. Take the heart shape herb, take the HGH, my man. Like, go get the extra testosterone pumps, whatever you got to do, my man. Lock it in, because it's really not gonna fly, boy.
You're
sorry.
telling me Bucky couldn't have stopped his congressional fucking, that is also whatever. But he couldn't stop trying to be in Congress for 1 minute to be like, all right,
Bro,
I got you.
I can't wait for Thunderbolts because that congressional campaign is going to blow up in his face. So I'm like, well, that's cooked. He's not
remember
getting into
when
Congress.
you killed JFK?
Well, he's
that
by the
was
time
a different
Thunderbolts comes,
me.
he's in Congress. He's a congressman.
Yeah,
He's in
I'm pretty
Congress.
sure. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which political party is Bucky affiliated with?
Oh, he's Green Party for sure. He's Green Party
No.
for sure, all the
No.
way.
He can't
Definitely
be
a
in-
Republican.
He can't be in the Green Party, bro.
He was in the grassy knoll. What are you talking about?
yeah.
He killed 81 people on TV. Like, he's got to be Republican. Right?
That's the
They don't
most
care about
Republican
that shit.
person I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's like got to be Republican.
absolutely pro-gun, obviously.
Pro-gun, like
Yeah.
from
Definitely
the 40s.
pro-gun.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he's going the
he
peace
was
route.
there in the 40s, right? Remember when America was good? I was there. I can bring y'all back to that time.
That's
That's
why
his whole campaign.
that's why the Dora Milaje was like, we need our arm back. Fuck
Well,
this.
I mean, a couple of things. Number one, he can't be in the Green Party because he got elected. And so that's not
That's very true. Very true.
You know what I mean?
And, well, it is a fantasy world. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? They got Hulks
I
running
guess.
around. And a
As
black
Shout
Captain
out to
America.
the ideas of the Green Party. Just, you know,
We're trying to be
maybe go at them
competitive.
sometimes and not
Yeah,
just maybe go at them sometimes. I'm fucking with you. Maybe
So, as
Let's
part of
deal, but-
the Great Unwokening, this movie worries me a little bit because I can already see the wheels turning over at Marvel. They like, damn, we don't know if a black Captain America can really get it done. And looking at the rest of the slate, we don't know when Blade's coming out. Ironheart has been pushed back so much. Wonder Man is Wonder Man. And then we got Black Panther 3. Van, are you worried about the future of our black brothers and sisters in the MCU? Because it seems like they're fucking up a little bit. Not our black brothers and sisters, but the powers that be.
no, I'm not. I'm not because it's gonna always come back to the same shit anyway, right? It's like I'm over that. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's like, look, this is me. Watch this. At one point, I cared, but oof, I'm over it.
Wow.
You know, I'm not about to spend the rest of my life fighting over black Jedis. I'm not doing it. Okay, like I'm not doing it. I'm over it. Is like the schisms all over the place. It's schisms. Ironheart could come out. It could be the best show ever made, and people would be like, "A black nigger." You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When they criticized Black Panther when it came out, it doesn't matter whether this stuff is good. It doesn't matter whether this stuff is bad. Okay? Has the stuff been bad? Yes. Oh, it's been bad. Okay? It hasn't been great. But it really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They came out, Black Panther. The right was up in a tizzy then. Do we need a black and this, and is this black? And I remember they would pick little things like, why are they doing ritual combat to decide their leader? Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
It's a good note.
Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Maybe they'll have an election in a little bit. Or it don't even matter. Shut up. So I don't care as far as all I care about, black, white, red, purple, green. I care about the fact that they commit a little bit more to uh, these projects and they stay out of the creators' way so they can make great stuff. Like Ironheart, Wonder Man, Black Panther 3, Blade. I no longer fret based upon any cultural connection to these characters because I don't think that we're looking almost at anything. Drake just dropped. It could have been the greatest shit ever. It wasn't, but it could have been the greatest shit ever. And some people still would have hated on it. It could have been the wackest shit ever, and some people still would have been all over it. We're in an unprecedented era of dick riding, to where the only thing that I care about is whether or not these things are executed in the right way. I do not care about them from a cultural standpoint.
That's my follow up, Mint Boys Van. Where do you think this movie kind of leaves Marvel? Because I feel like this was I felt like there was some momentum and people maybe had a little bit more renewed faith maybe in this movie as it got closer to start off kind of like a good year for superhero movies and Marvel in general. And this has kind of put me on the back foot a little bit. I'm like now worried about like, how can a movie this bad even get released?
I mean, they did dump it, right? We understand what it was. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it. He just take it. I think at this point, man, maybe it's just the nature of our business, but I'm not one for the movie to movie. It's over. We're back. It's over. We're back. I can't keep doing it. Like, that's just what it is. I just can't, I guess
but we ain't been back for a long time, Joe.
No, but I'm saying like after every movie, it's either like people can spin it, we're back, people can say, but every movie is a referendum. Every single movie is a referendum on what this franchise is now. You know, it'd be like after every single game they play, Lakers win 2 in a row. Oh, we're back. They lose one. It's over. Austin Reeves can't play. Like, I would let's see what happens after Fantastic Four comes out, right? Because if we go, this movie stinks, right? To all accounts, then Thunderbolts is cool, Fantastic Four is great, then it's a different conversation. Yeah, right now it doesn't look great, but I don't want to come in and say, oh, it's over, done, trade all the picks, trade everybody. Like, let's just tank and get ready for next season after the first film of 2025.
Yeah, it feels weird, but I'm actually not discouraged by the rest of Marvel's output this year. I think that this started to be the thing where it's like, okay, it's starting to be not okay when you have this many cooks in the kitchen and it ends up being a failure. I think with the things that we're going to be getting in the coming months, there's still a lot to look forward to, because the things that they reassessed from Daredevil, the things that they seem to lean in for with Thunderbolts, the time that they wanted to take with Fantastic Four is still encouraging. All we heard about from the beginning from Captain America Brave New World is that things aren't going well and it might not be a good thing. And we were bracing for that impact from almost the moment that we heard about it. And now seeming that Marvel knows that it's operating on the back foot and wants to take its time a bit more. Yeah, this seems like they kind of just punted and let this out. But again, I'm not discouraged.
So I'm not either. And let me tell you why. So, I had COVID this week. I tested positive on Monday. I tested negative on yesterday, but the COVID is still coming out of me. I'm still like coughing the stuff up. This movie is the coughing up of stuff to me.
I don't like that. I don't like that metaphor.
I'm just telling you. Like, this movie is the last bit of it. When I look at the trailers and dig into the concepts for both Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, and to a degree, even Daredevil, which, itself had its own troubled production. What I see is two films that, to me, at least look like they have original, fresh takes on things. That they have, big time villains in them. They have big time stakes in them, and that they're going to shake things up a little bit and make us look at things a little bit different. And they look like movies that are coherent, and more importantly, they look like films that are holding things back in the trailers, which this movie wasn't. So I think this film ended up being a disaster that is more indicative of the sickness that uh, Marvel is coming out of, the virus that was there for a little bit, as far as the the dysfunction that was going on at the studio, and not necessarily like what's going to happen before. Now, I will say this. Moving on, I'm still interested to see Anthony Mackie as Captain America. There hasn't really been anything that's been done that's dampened my enthusiasm for Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I don't think that uh, that that Chris Evans had necessarily a complete hold over the character after the first movie. I think we have to remember that. I think it took a little while for them to understand how to orient the character around him, and then he found it with the Russos, and so that's kind of how things go. I think it's awesome that Anthony Mackie is Captain America, and I still think that he has great adventures as Captain America to come. But this hasn't dampened any of my enthusiasm for Thunderbolts or for Fantastic Four.
My question for Anthony Mackie as Captain America is less. At this point, like I said, I think I'd be an asshole if I went super at Anthony Mackie. I don't think he was the problem with this movie. There's a lot more problems. But if you're forecasting, what I was worried about is I'm almost thinking Chris Evans is not only for sure coming back, but I don't know how long Anthony Mackie's Captain America is long for this world. And that has nothing against Anthony Mackie. That has more with I don't think any of these new heroes, whether it's Captain Marvel, whether it's Anthony Mackie's Cap, I don't know if you're an exact that Marvel. You're like, can they really lead Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars? I don't know. And that has less to do with acting ability and more to do with our nostalgia and love for the original product.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that Marvel was going to have to do, I think we talked about this on the pod back in the day, was to show that they could pass the mantle. Look, the comic books can't really pass the mantle. Like Captain America is Steve Rogers. That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Captain America is Steve Rogers. The one that's been the most successful is Spider-Man, and that was surprising. It wasn't like that at first, but then Miles Morales was able to carve out his own identity as Spider-Man. But even there, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. You know what I mean? Like Batman is Bruce Wayne. There can be other people that can take these mantles and be different versions of them that are good. Maybe Flash, you have some arguments and stuff like that. Barry Allen, Wally West, whomever. Green Lantern, maybe with all the characters that have that. But for the most part, it never really gets done like that. So they'd have to do it in a different, new, exciting way, and we'll see if they can. But they certainly didn't in this movie. I'm just being honest.
I think it's hard too because part of it was they wanted to orient around Chadwick, and that we know we lost him in 2020 thing. And I think it was supposed to be him, Cumberbatch, and Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, right? And her movies regardless how you feel, didn't really move the needle like they were supposed to. And so now you have to reach. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. I like the first one. Hey, I like
the first one's okay. Marvel.
First one's all right.
It's okay, but when you come, she's not good as Captain Marvel, and that's okay too.
Sure, right?
Actually, you know what? Maybe that's a little bit too far. I haven't enjoyed her as Captain. I don't want to say she's not good as Captain Marvel.
It's definitely
Captain
a mixed
Marvel
bag.
Hasn't really worked. Yeah,
it's been a mixed bag. I think the first one, she's a little bit it's tough for her because she's supposed to be somebody who doesn't know what's going on, is very much stoic and very much not really having as much fun as everybody else. And then the second one is the second movie. It is not well put together, right? So her characterization has been so weird within the movies that you haven't really got a hold on her character, right? And now you're supposed to anchor this second leg of the MCU, and we don't really know what your character is, right? Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness didn't really work, and then of course the Chadwick stuff. So you have your three people are supposed to hold this thing down, and it's not. They can't find it, and so yeah, it's not what you want. Looking at the second leg, ultimately, yeah, you probably. I mean, they're already bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom, right? Chris Evans, your email's blowing up right now. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth is still around. They're gonna find some way to get Scarlett Johansson back. Timey-wimey, time travel stuff, whatever. And Jeremy Renner is still around. So it's all coming together. It's all coming.
Where do you guys put this Brave New World? Because obviously it's the worst Cap movie, I think, easily. Where do you put it in terms of tiers of Marvel? Because it's at the bottom. Like, I was trying to figure out which Marvel movie was worse than this one, and it was difficult. I think Eternals is better.
Yeah, I had like a reexamination of it, and I think that there's only a few movies that I would find better than this, and that's only because the ones that I've marked below it like actively piss me off. I think Love and Thunder is that movie for me personally.
Like, I think I think Love and Thunder is better, but it's like
it's on the same tier.
Like it's same exact tier.
Sure.
Thor: The Dark World is better to me.
Yeah.
Then what movie is this better? In it took a while.
You guys think that Thor: The Dark World is better than Love and Thunder?
Yes.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yes.
Again, I implore you to look back on that because there are a couple of very good Loki things in that I really, really liked.
No. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't hate Thor: The Dark World like that. Like I don't hate it like that. I really don't. But I didn't realize that the Love and Thunder hate was this deep.
Yeah. It's I looked back at that and I'm like, nah, this is pissing me off. This is really getting me.
Here's the thing. I'll examine it. I would have to rewatch both of them sequentially, but they're kind of a similar turd, if I'm going to be honest. Like, and that's what makes the bottom tier Marvel movies hard, because I'm like, I don't want to just come out and say Captain America: Brave New World is the worst Marvel movie, but it's definitely tied. Like, it's like a
TD left the theater. We saw it with TD, our former coworker. And he was like, the first thing out of his, at least I heard out of his mouth, was comfortably the worst MCU movie ever. Wow. I was like, hold on.
It's there. It's tied. It's because you guys can't list to me what Marvel movie is worse than this.
Quantumania?
Quantumania is bad, but it's because here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. Paul Rudd still has enough chemistry. I'm not chemistry, but has enough charisma to carry that movie in certain parts in a way that, like, that's nothing against Anthony Mackie. Mm-hmm. The movie doesn't have that central performance.
That movie still has a good Kang performance. It's still, it does too much. It's not,
The Marvels?
It's so interesting with the
Marvels
tier
of the Marvels is worse. The Marvels is worse. I will say that.
I actually don't think that.
This movie doesn't have a performance like Iman Vellani in the Marvels.
Iman Vellani like really shines in that. Like,
here's the thing: that the Marvels, to me, honestly, I would say the Marvels and Brave New World are tied. They have the exact same problems for me.
Okay, but again,
you know what the real thing is that once you get down to the. By the way, Eternals is aging
perfectly.
Well. It's aging.
All right. We're not doing this.
I love being on the right side of history.
No.
I love being on the right side of history.
Gotta give credit to Jomi. Eternals is aging really well.
We got to talk about the movies we owe an apology to, and Eternals.
We don't owe any apologies to the Eternals.
I don't know if I'm going to go as far as say that I owe an apology to Eternals. What I'm going to say is that Eternals is an incredibly watchable movie with some really cool ideas.
Yes,
I would like to do I would like to do Midnight Mulligans as a whole episode for specific movies.
Mm-hmm.
To where we rewatch the movie and do almost rewatchable. Daddy. Father.
Like a Mulligan showcase, kind of, where it's just like, all right, let's really.
Because leaving the theater, I don't know that Eternals was what I thought it was going to be, but Eternals is good.
It's not good. It is
here's
not.
the thing. The most memorable thing about
like, I like Eternals. I'll put it like that.
I will say Eternals, what I will give y'all is Eternals is more competent than pretty much anything that we've gotten since in the MCU, outside of a few kind of outliers. And I also think weirdly,
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is better than Eternals.
Yeah, of course. I said there are some outliers. Yeah. Also, to give Eternals something, it doesn't look as bad as a bunch of the other shit.
There's some beautiful moments in Eternals.
There's no beautiful moments in Brave New World. Brave New World looks horrible. Like it's like I'm not even
that final fight looked terrible. That final fight looked terrible.
The final fight, I'm so sorry. What was the cherry blossom shit? Like, why did
he wanted to go there with his daughter, Charles? If he showed up to the cherry blossoms, he could remind her of his daughter, Charles.
The sun's getting real low.
Also, if I'm in my hater bag right now, what was the leader? The leader looks terrible.
There was a second. There was a second that he looked cool, and it's when he was in shadow and you saw the green eyes, and I'm like, okay, if that was him the whole movie, cool. Nah. But no, man.
But once
Tim Blake
again,
Nelson.
The aesthetic of the leader is a perfect. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but it's exactly, like the idea of a classic comic book villain that is gaudy and ridiculous, but if you do it right, it can look fucking cool.
Right. It's like they wanted to go 1976 made for TV scary, which if you could do that in a big budget way is
that
cool.
Look really
They
cool.
wanted to go this is Saturday afternoon, you're watching a political thriller, and they kind of wanted to go for that aesthetic with the leader, but the more time you spend looking at the leader, you're like, I punched this nigga in his mouth.
If I'm gonna be honest, I think what really happened, if I was like a fly on the wall, is the leader dailies came back, and that shit was not working to such an extent. They were in the boardroom like, yo, we need a new villain stat. What actor is on our line that we can get? Who's the most evil nigga we know? And they I think we could get Giancarlo Esposito, because that's what it felt like. It feels like the movie could not, because Harrison Ford is mailing it in, and Nelson is just he has nothing to do as a leader. I like him as an actor, but he has nothing. Yeah. So it's kind of like they were like, can we get Giancarlo Esposito to kind of convince us that there is an actual villain here? And instead, you just end up with three villains that I'm just like,
don't really.
All of these performances kind of suck.
Frankly, I wanted them to bring back Baltrock the Leaper. I just love that when that guy shows up and gets his ass kicked.
That got shot.
What did I say? Baltrock.
That got shot by Sharon Carter in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, bro, bring him back for some reason. I don't care. I love it when that French asshole just gets his ass kicked.
They also cut Rosa Salazar from the movie. I don't know. I don't know why that happened as well, but clearly there was a lot of stuff going on. They were just chop, chop, chop. I have two questions for you guys. We talked about the MCU movies that this movie is worse than, but let's go through the Sony movies real quick to see if this movie is worse than any of them. Is it worse than the first Venom?
No.
Okay. Is it worse than Let There Be Carnage?
No. Wait.
Venom. All three Venom movies are better than this movie. All three Venom movies are better than this movie.
Right. And they started to scratch this ground on the Big Pick, where they were talking about the novelty of the badness of some of these Sony's movies, like a Madam Web, or even some of these Venom movies, where we're that experience of seeing Venom.
Yeah, that doesn't
kind
move,
of was fun.
That doesn't move the needle for me.
There.
Madam Web, if we're gonna be honest, Madam Web is worse. I like
Madam Web is worse.
Madam Web is worse.
Let's not
I feel like Madam Web is worse.
Let's not bullshit here.
Morbius is worse.
Morbius is worse.
Yes.
Venom: The Last Dance. I think they might be on the same level.
I had fun with Venom: The Last Dance. I had fun.
Craven. This movie.
movie's better than Craven. This movie's better than Craven.
It's better.
This
Than
movie's
Craven.
better than
It's
Craven.
better than
This movie's better than
Craven.
Craven.
It's better
But
than
I
Craven.
enjoyed Craven more.
This is Craven.
This movie is better than Craven.
The whole like, oh man, we have fun in the theater because the movie was so bad. Yeah, that don't move me, man. Movie stunk. The movie stunk. Let's keep it a bean.
So here's the thing about Marvel, and this is the main criticism of Marvel that like I can levy right now. You know, there used to be a time where a Marvel movie could only be so bad. There was a floor. The Marvel ceiling obviously was a big deal with Endgame and Infinity War and all of that stuff. But more impressive was the Marvel floor. And I think in the last 5 years, the Marvel floor has been the thing that's really, really, really been shocking.
Rock
the
bottom
floor
type shit. Like
has been lowered. The floor for Marvel used to be higher. The floor is lower now. They can make a complete disaster, and we've seen them do it kind of over and over and over again. Now, that's not necessarily me calling this movie a complete disaster. It's me saying that the film itself is like that. I hope everybody watches because we got to get this. We got to get this.
It's Black History Month. You got to put your dues in. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I would be lying to y'all if I came out here and told y'all that this movie did what it was supposed to do. It didn't.
No, I wanted to because I don't know if you've seen any of the discourse, conversation around the movie, but people really like this movie.
What are you talking about, Joe?
Brother, people, the audience score is like over 80%. People are rocking with this movie.
That's a lot.
That's well. Here's the thing. Usually the audience score for that shit is like 100. So I don't take that. Like,
I'm telling y'all, I talked to people this week, and I was ready. I was ready to go into the movie. Just to let you guys know, since I was sick, I didn't see it with the rest of the boys on Tuesday. I saw it, and I saw it yesterday. And because I was getting intel all week from people who had seen it, I was ready to go into the movie and come out here and fight the good fucking fight. But there was no fight.
Tough.
However, what Jomi is saying is true. It's people that's fucking with it. And everybody go see the movie and make up your own mind. It's people that's fucking with it.
I will say, here's the thing. The movie's going to make a lot of money this weekend. We going to have a little bit of nerd news. Like, if the movie surprises me and outperforms, like, cool, I'll say. I don't know if this is the type of movie. It reminds me of Eternals. When people get out of this movie, I think they're going to be pissed because they're just like, you promised me Red Hulk and I didn't really get Red Hulk. What the fuck? I think they over-indexed on the Red Hulk shit because I was even surprised. I'm like, wait, this is the only fight we're getting? This is all like, but I wanted to ask before we did Midnight Meter, a friend of the pod, Nate Moore, told EW, quote, now that we can build the path towards X-Men, we want to start sprinkling in these things, meaning adamantium, so that it doesn't feel like you're going to drink from a fire hose when that movie comes, so that the MCU starts to lay the groundwork for what could come. All right, man. Get it out. Just get it out.
Jesus. Okay, Nate. Go ahead.
I was going to ask y'all.
Come on now.
Do you think that is a good strategy for the X-Men? Because that actually worries me a little bit.
It's no reason to be worried. It's like, it's fine. Like, I'm sick of being worried about these fucking movies, you know? The movies will come out and they'll be good or they'll be bad. They can't spring everything on us all at once because it's too much of a dump. Right now, I wish they would say, fuck it. I wish they would come out and have Doctor Strange do a spell. And the spell would be called the reveal spell. And then Doctor Strange would do this. This is his wand. Does he have a wand? No, he has a sling ring. But let's say he got a wand. And this is Doctor Strange. Boom. This is Strange. He did a spell and he erased Spider-Man. Do a spell and make the X-Men come to life.
What if Scarlet Witch is alive?
Is that what Charlize Theron was hoping to do
at
the end of?
This is I'm Dr. Van Strange. How did they say it in Harry Potter? Elizabetha.
Elizabetha. Wingardium Leviosa.
Leviosa. Leviosa. Olivia Rodrigo. I do this,
All right.
and then the X-Men just appear. Because if they try to do anything too complicated, they're going to fuck it up.
I disagree. The X-Men at this point are the fucking hot sauce of the MCU. Every single Marvel movie or TV show, at the end, when they know they don't got the juice, it's like, all right, Miss Marvel, here's a theme song. She a mutant. Fucking Multiverse of Madness. They like, yo, we got Patrick Stewart. Let's roll his old ass out in the fucking wheelchair. It's like, oh, Jesus Marvel Christ. Sucks. Here's fucking cartoon Beast. It's like, dog, like you can't, it seems like every single movie now, it's like they just put like some mutant hot sauce on it and it does nothing for the story. I'm just like, it's just fucking jangling keys in my face at this point.
Well, they have to put the X-Men in the world. See, this is the thing. That's why I say just do it all at once. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they bring the X-Men, we're going to be like, well, shit, what the X-Men was just watching when Thanos came, like they didn't care. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck were the X-Men doing? Everybody's asking all of these. In the comics, we never would ask these questions. They could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Like somebody could die, they could come right back to life in somebody else's skin, and they could grow into a new organism, and we'd be like, oh wow, that's what happened. But like in the movies, everybody has such direct, literal questions about why and how these things are happening. Where have the Fantastic Four been? Where have these people been? How do you explain it? And if they breadcrumb you and put these things in the movie, we go, oh my God, you're just doing that to give us the X. But if they just do it, you're gonna ask all these. There's no way to win. So what I'm saying is, fuck it. Fuck it. At the end of the Fantastic Four,
just have Scarlet Witch
Wolverine
come alive.
Kill Franklin Richards.
Jesus Christ!
That's what should happen.
All right, Jesus,
that's what should happen in the movie.
Just have Scarlet Witch come back, and she can be like, instead of saying no more mutants, just be like mutants. Boom, we did it. Mutants are alive.
Reverse it. Have her say mutants.
That's exactly what I just said.
More mutants.
You still got COVID brain, man.
Dog, I'm fucking struggling.
It's bad.
Okay. Like I'm fucking struggling. But look, actually take that out. Take me out saying that joke. Actually leave it in. I don't give a fuck what people say.
All right.
All of that stays in.
Leave all of that in.
All of that stays
all the second guessing, great.
We want to do Midnight Meter?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. It's time for our Midnight Meter. Y'all know what it is. This is our proprietary rating system. 1 to 10, normal 1 to 10 scale, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. We reserve 11 and 12 for true game changers. All right. Van, start us off strong.
5.
Ooh. I didn't think it was going to be that harsh.
5. Yeah, it's 5.
Jomi?
Yeah, 5 is where it's at. The problem with this movie, I think the biggest indictment of the movie is that it's boring. Like that's just the truth. And I was sitting next to Kerm. I fell asleep at least 2 or 3 times. There's a middle stretch in this movie where they don't got the wings on and it's just fucking Captain Falcon and Baby Falcon just like walking around. I'm like, this is the most boring shit ever. Yeah, that's the biggest indictment. So like as much as I would love to, try and put my positive spin and, do my whole thing, it's a 5.
Steve?
It'll be a 4. Yeah. It's one of the worst things that a Marvel movie can be, and that's boring.
Yeah, so I just got to be real with the audience, and I'm the only critic out here who is not paid off by Big Michael Mouse. So that's why I have to give this movie a big stinking 2. It was quite damn. And it might drop a whole point by Midnight Mulligans. This is definitely a 2.
Only a point. I'm waiting for Charles to get into the negatives at some point.
I want the audience to pay attention to something in this podcast. Charles is actually annoyed that he doesn't get to hate in peace. He likes it better when we like the movie and he can be the sole negative voice.
That is not true, actually. That is not true. That is not true.
Absolutely true.
It is absolutely.
Look what he just did. I'm the only one that's not paid off by Michael Mouse. I could
A
have gave it
5
a
is
1,
insane.
and Charles would
We
have
should
gave it a
go.
0.
Can somebody bring up Mulligans? A 5 is insane.
I'm looking at Mulligans right now.
What other movies have a 5?
Van gave Craven a 5.
Yeah.
I gave Craven a 2. Charles, you gave it a 2. And Steve gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understand though, I am generally, I go into a movie to enjoy. I'm generally more in the bag for superhero fare. 5 is a very bad score for me.
I go into movies to enjoy them, just not. The superhero movies have been so bad. At this point, I just want them to be watchable. At this point, I just want to be like, I was at least entertained.
The thing with this movie,
but you know what? You know what the problem is, Charles? It's not okay. So this is the problem. I believe you. The problem is when stuff comes out that's actually good and you still shit on it. That's the thing.
No, because here's the thing. You're like, oh, he's doing a bit. There could be stuff that like the audience loves that I'm just like, I don't like this shit.
I know. So what I'm saying is that makes people think that you kind of don't like the shit.
No, there's stuff that comes out when there's stuff that comes out that's nerd shit that I like. I give it a good score.
I know, but I'm talking about superhero shit. I'm just saying. So it's like, so when I'm like when I'm saying
what's the last good superhero shit we got?
My man, don't
Penguin,
you X-Men. Don't do that. Penguin,
X-Men 97. X-Men 97
that's setting you up.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, you
I still think it's bad. I still stand on it. I still think it's bad.
X-Men 97 is when we lost hope. That's what.
That's where we lost. That's where we lost.
That's where we lost hope. We lost hope when we were like,
that's not. Here's the thing.
Charles is the little
The funny thing is, y'all the only critical body that brings up X-Men 97. Nobody else in my life is just like, damn, Charles, you didn't like X-Men 97? They're like, nigga, what's X-Men 97?
Because it's our jobs. What are you talking about?
And it's my job to be honest with the audience about shit I fuck with.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying you're not being honest. I'm not saying you're not being honest. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that like the thing that made people think that maybe, or that when I let go, when I was like, okay, maybe this is not Charles's cup of tea, is then. So like for me, if I'm saying, what I'm saying for me is like, if I like enjoy the stuff. So when I'm looking at it, I probably do rate it a little. I'm the reverse you, which is, by the way, should be criticized as much. And I do get criticized. I'm the reverse you. I'm probably like, oh, whatever. But it's just it's funny because we want you on that wall. We need you on that wall.
I will say, in fairness to me, sometimes I feel like when I do like certain shit, you like, but that's not what we as comic fans should like. Like when I'm like, oh, I really like the Venom movies, y'all like, come on, stop trolling. You know what I'm saying? Or like even Joker Folly Do. Like it's not a good movie, but like I enjoyed it for what it was. I was like, this is fucking funny. And then the fans like, how could you enjoy this? And I'm just like, just as a movie fan, you know?
I think that Joker Folly Do is significantly worse than Captain America Brave New World.
Whoa. Easily.
Significantly worse. Significantly worse.
There's actual good performances.
10 minutes on to the motherfucking clock.
Joker is so much better than Captain America Brave New World.
Oh my! I wish we was a person. Charles,
honestly,
thank you.
Even though you want to know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I can say this right now. I think Captain America Brave New World is better than the fucking Penguin. Fuck it. I don't care. Like
that's insane.
Yeah,
that's
you didn't finish the Penguin.
Yeah, you didn't finish the Penguin.
You don't believe that.
Not only did you not know what you were talking about, you didn't finish.
If we're being honest, I fell asleep during 10 or 15 minutes of Captain America. So I didn't finish Captain America.
You didn't finish. You didn't finish Captain America. You didn't finish the Penguin. You didn't finish it.
It's not.
But yet you finished Folly Ado. What the fuck?
Because I enjoyed it. That's insane.
But once again, though, I'll say that like these movies that you like, or so what was you saying? Joker, Folly Ado, and what was the other one you said? Like
the Venom movie.
Venom.
All three of them I like. All of them.
I have fun with Venom. But like
Venom is fun.
The Joker Folly Ado is an anti-superhero movie. And look, let me ask you a question. Why if the thing was that Charles doesn't really enjoy the superhero movie that much, why would that be a big deal? I don't enjoy the anime. I've tried the anime. I've tried to watch
The
all the
anime.
depressing,
The anime,
violent
dog,
anime.
The anime
is
is
old.
great.
That is
The
old.
I've
anime
tried
is
to watch-
crazy.
That is
What-
that is
no,
I
I
great.
enjoy
don't.
the anime.
I've tried to enjoy I tried to watch the anime.
Man's like, I enjoy the Asian cartoons.
I tried.
Charles is one of these
here's the
Asian.
deal. Look, last night I started reading it.
The
Right?
Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I started reading it. I got about 100 pages into it, and I was like, I don't want to read this no more.
Oh yeah, you got like an 80th of the way in. That
Right?
that book is
I was
1,000
like, I don't want
pages
to read
long.
this no more. I don't want to read this no more. It's too much. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No, my nigga. And then I had people telling me about what happens in the actual book and how it's
Dude,
different. I wanted to get deep into the lore.
It's a lot.
And I'm like, Steve, I read the book Ahlman. And and it's too much. It's too much. Bro, that anime should be too much.
I agree.
That should be too much.
I agree. But
Maybe
to your question though earlier, I feel like it's not that I don't like superhero movies anymore. I don't like this current era of superhero movies. And that's because I had such enjoyment with the first Spider-Man, the X-Men movies, early MCU, some of the DC shit, and the product is just stepped on. The product has been stepped on, honestly, since Endgame, if we're being honest.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
but
Yeah.
So I'm comparing.
X-Men 97
Was bullshit to me.
was the telltale moment. That was the telltale moment.
It's fine.
Yeah,
And then
that
Penguin,
was,
and then X-Men
Here's
97
the
was
thing,
the
once
telltale
again,
moment.
I saw a tweet, so I'm not like, but I saw a tweet today that I agreed with. They were like, yeah, the Penguin kind of came out during a time where it was the prestige drought was, it was real. And I'm going to be honest, there's a difference to me between like watching a Severance or watching the Penguin. Like there just is a quality difference to me. Like, like I could just tell. Like, I'm like, this ain't really that shit. This is something.
I mean, frankly,
This
you're
is
just
something
previewing
different.
the Severance pod that we're going to be doing eventually. So
There's like, there's tiers to this, and Penguin was just not a tier that I fuck with. I got standards.
You're entitled to your opinion. Look, let me tell you like this. I think this is one thing. It's like, I like food.
no, we're back here again.
We
How
know
are we
this.
back? Well, say it, Jomi. Say it.
We did the hamburger versus the steak.
Nope. That's not what I'm about to say.
Go for it.
It's not hamburger versus steak. Because those are still hearty dinner foods.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, you eat a food and you don't necessarily compare it. Like a cupcake is not the same as a steak. Cupcake and a steak. If you look at Severance or you look at The Bear, and like I wouldn't even compare Severance or The Bear to their dramas. That I wouldn't compare those things to. Severance is so quirky and so whatever. There are dramas out there that I wouldn't compare Severance to. Like I wouldn't compare Severance to Better Call Saul or compare Severance to Breaking Bad. It wouldn't make any sense. And the heights that you get from Breaking Bad, Severance could not get there because it's not the same type of storytelling. And the heights that you get from Severance, Breaking Bad couldn't get there because it's not the same type of storytelling. One storytelling is going to end with somebody getting half of their face blown off, right? And the other one is going to be, I saw my innie or my outie at this thing or whatever. It's not the same deal. So, like, a robust criticism of Severance of the Penguin shouldn't involve, like, in my opinion, what you thought about Severance, because Severance is a completely different type of storytelling.
So that's
than
where
the
I
Penguin is.
disagree. So when I'm looking at something, it's like, all right, what is it trying to do? Or like, what is it part of? So to me, when I say like, oh, if I compare it to your point, like Severance, The Bear, whatever, these are all different shows, all different genres, but obviously they are all indebted to a certain era of prestige TV storytelling and modern TV storytelling. And when I look at stuff like The Penguin, sometimes I'm just like, well, if I'm looking at this as a mob story, if I'm looking at this as something that anchors an HBO Sunday night, if I'm looking at the acting, the writing, the performances, I'm just like, this is kind of hokey and corny in a way where I'm just like, I don't buy the reality of this world. Where it's like, to your point, even if all of these genres and these shows are different or whatever.
Because you're comparing it.
No, when I'm talking about like believing the reality of a show, believing
you have
like
to,
these are.
in order to do that, you have to fall into the show.
But it's the shows. It's the shows. Here's the thing: a show can either do that for me as an individual viewer, or it can't. If I'm looking at this mobster TV show, and I'm like, all of these gangsters are cartoons. They're idiots. Like it's like that takes me out.
Have you seen? I'm assuming you've seen The Godfather, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Two completely different depictions of the American mafia, right?
Correct.
If you were comparing Goodfellas to The Godfather, Goodfellas wouldn't make any sense.
But here's the thing. When I'm watching Goodfellas or I'm watching The Godfather, those are perfect examples of movies where I'm just like, I am falling into the reality of this mob story, this family, and this world. If we take something like The Penguin, not even comparing it to those, just like if I'm just watching The Penguin, I shouldn't keep thinking, I'm like, why are these the dumbest gangsters? Or like, why can't I even believe that these are characters that are controlling Gotham? They seem it almost seemed like, oh, you over-indexed on the comic book shit. And that's just me. Like, it's like, that's not me saying, I get why people
that's
like
what I said. The comic book stuff is the stuff that takes you, that's my point.
But sometimes, but there's been shows,
is the stuff that takes you out of it a lot of times.
No, because I think there's examples of TV shows and movies, whether it's like Batman movies, Daredevil, other stuff where I'm like, oh, the comic book gangster elements of this work in certain ways. And when
they tamp them down, when they turn them down a little bit, it works for you. The more comic booky is, the more it bothers you.
But sometimes if you take a James Gunn has a way of like turning the dial on the comic book shit to fucking 10, 20, and it works. A lot of times it's just how you land the plane. So I don't always need my comic book stuff to be like turned down. A lot of times I like when it's amped up. Fantastic Four, I like the fact that it seems really amped up. It's just when you amp it up, it's a fine line, and you have to walk that fine line, because if you don't, it ends up kind of looking janky.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I'll say. Captain America. No. All right.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right.
Great. Awesome.
Basically that's it.
Captain America.
That's it. No more Captain America. It's canceled.
One last question I have for you guys. One last question. To you right now, is Anthony Mackie Captain America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Charles?
And that's not, no. Here's the thing. Anthony Mackie to me is not Captain America, and that has nothing to do with Anthony Mackie. Like, yes, on paper, in the movies, for the foreseeable future, yes, he is Captain America. But if you're I don't think that if this movie and the MCU and the powers that be believe that Anthony Mackie was Captain America, I think that more of this movie would have revolved around him. More of the marketing would have revolved around him, more of the story and the emotional beats. And I think that that's the ultimate failing of this movie, where I think they were half-stepping in a way that they don't tend to do with white characters, where it's like, if I'm just being honest, Steve Rogers was Captain America because obviously he's the first Captain America, but Chris Evans got to cook, and those movies could succeed on his back. Where this movie, it felt like at a certain point they made the distinction, we don't believe in a black Captain America, so we have to throw celestial bullshit, adamantium, Red Hulk, the leader, the Serpent Society, and all this other shit to mask the fact that we did not empower any of the people on this movie to truly sell us that a black man could be Captain America.
I don't think that's necessarily untrue, but I do think the best portion of his arc was in Falcon Winter Soldier, when he has to convince everybody that, like, I'm Captain America and I'm black and it's different, but you need to get over it. Right? Like, that was I think a solid arc that I don't want to say wasted in the show, but they use that in the show. You can't double back on that, right? And so then it's kind of like, what do we have left for this character? I think that's the tough part. That's the thing where he kind of has nothing to do, because the stuff that we would have given to do in this movie, we gave it to him in another show. And so now what are we kind of do here? They were kind of stuck. I feel like there was an arc for him, but you just couldn't do it again in this movie. And it kind of left you wanting.
And once again, I will say this. I'm not faking the funk. I don't think a lot of this is Anthony Mackie's fault or the director. Like, it's this movie got away from everyone. And it's just sometimes that happens with a movie. And I think this movie is a perfect example of like, it was trouble. And they just could not land this plane.
And they couldn't fix it.
Tough.
Yeah.
Not Danny Ramirez, though. Shout out, man. All those guys of Top Gun Maverick, they doing their thing. You know, Pullman is in the Thunderbolts. They got Coyote. He's in Mission Impossible. And Miles Teller is still jobless. So that's tough.
Well,
I
Miles Teller got the gorge on
he's got an Apple
TV.
joint coming out right now.
I just saw that. It was him and Anna Taylor-Joy, right?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Did y'all see they asked him about Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
He's like,
I wish them the best.
nobody want to be in a flop. I'm like, God damn.
But he was like, I saw the trailer. It was fantastic.
Great.
Still got it.
I once saw Miles Teller walking through. I once saw Miles Teller walking through. I think it was the which casino is it that's across? Maybe the MGM Grand, one of those casinos with like 5 pizzas stacked up. He was drunk, 5 pizzas stacked up, and he was eating off the pizza at the top. I was like, "It's my kind of guy." I don't know why.
Living the dream.
I fucked with him.
Living the dream.
In Vegas. I can't remember which casino. It's a casino right across from the city center. He's walking around. He's got 5 pizzas. That's like literally 5 small pizza boxes. And the box at the top, he's with some girl and he's eating the pizza. And she's trying to get him to come up to the room and got enough pizza for everybody. Having a pizza party in Vegas. Shout out to Miles Teller.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
All right, that's a wrap. You guys, we were honest.
I wanted this movie to be better. I really did. Like, I wanted... It sucks. I don't want to shit on fucking Black Captain America on Black History Month. I didn't really want to.
We could have lied.
Guys.
We could have lied.
We're not gonna lie to y'all. This was a tough one, guys. This one was a tough one.
Yeah. You probably hear it in our voice because we're remote, but also because it was like, you know me, I do sometimes like being negative, but this was one where I'm like, I hate it had to be us. Like,
tough.
I mean, look, I will say that I do think Anthony Mackie is Captain America. And I think that is one thing that the movie had to do. But I think that really he was Captain America for me after Falcon and Winter Soldier. I actually really loved and enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I really, really, really liked that until the last episode was just terrible. All right, let's get out of here. Well, that's a wrap. It's a bummer.
We did it though. It was hard.
We did it. We're here.
You know, we hate to put a black man down during Black History Month.
Well, we didn't put any black men down.
You will, Charles. You said
I felt like we were very
Charles,
fair.
you said you didn't believe in him.
Mm-mm.
So
whoa.
This is you tap dancing on the grave right now. You know what I'm saying? This is
Charles,
you showed up to
if we're gonna be honest,
you showed up to the funeral and you know
if we're gonna be honest,
laughing.
This all started. My beef with Anthony Mackie started because I did believe in him, and honestly, maybe he knew that the movie was going to be a stinker, and he's like, I don't believe in myself, and maybe he wasn't mad at me.
Jesus Christ!
That's what the
world. What in the world?
What?
Where did you, how did you put those together? Where did you get that from?
I could honestly see why he was mad at me. He was on his second, third reshoot. He's like, this light-skinned nigga coming up to me saying he believe in me. Like,
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm just letting you know, Charles. I'm telling all of y'all. All of y'all.
We're taking all of this out.
Y'all gonna run into these people.
We're taking all of this out.
No,
Charles, let me tell you something.
Why would we take it out?
Why would we take it out?
Charles,
this. Here's the thing. How was I the asshole? How was I the asshole for being like, I believe in you, Anthony Mackie, and him getting an attitude?
Charles, let me tell you something that Tina Fey said to Bowen Yang. Authenticity is dangerous and expensive, and it's starting to get more expensive.
I was authentic with fucking Anthony Mackie, and I said, I believe in you. You my Captain America.
Yeah, clearly.
And guess what?
Clearly.
You wanted to have an attitude about it, and guess what? Do I believe he's Cap anymore after this movie? I'm not so sure. But we're taking all this out.
You meet somebody for the first time, and they first thing, they look at you in the eyes, like, I believe in you, man.
He's out of pocket.
That's out of pocket.
It's out of pocket?
That's out of pocket.
That's honestly, if we're looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, I'm damn near the only nigga who believed in him. So how am I the asshole?
You gave that shit a 2.
You just gave it a 2.
Oh my
Shit wasn't that
goodness.
bad. Let me go back to it real quick. The Rotten Tomatoes score has actually gone down.
Is it at
Is it-
53?
I thought it was like 51.
Oh, well, hey, it's making money though.
Hey,
Good.
Hey, good for them.
Good for them. Good for them.
Thursday, 12 million in Thursday previews.
There we go.
Got to start somewhere.
There you go.
Thursday previews. But the theater was full when I was in that bitch.
And how was the response?
That's a wrap. Program reminders. On Monday, House of R has a Brave New World deep dive. I'm sure Joanna will be a lot of fun for that one. She was a big fan of the movie. On Tuesday, the Ringiverse crew unites for our first Dungeons and Dragons campaign. You guys aren't going to want to miss this. Chuck was on one. He carried us. Steve
It's a lot.
was in his element as the best dungeon master ever. Steve was, remember, I want you guys to go back to the energy that Steve had when he announced the Geordie LaForge pick.
Yeah.
With a charm and a
goes-
plume.
When played with a charm and a plume by LeVar Burton, that was Steve.
What a
the entire
dickhead
Ringer
that guy
quest.
was.
That was Steve the entire Ring Quest. He was having so much fun. I love Steve so much. It was so much fun to see Steve. He was having so much fun. Let me tell you how much I love the Ring Quest, and I'm being for real. I didn't realize that over here on Robertson, like near where I live, and y'all could learn where I live. You got to pull up. I'm gonna put the fucking Glock
Wow.
on you.
Drop
Yeah,
a pin,
don't-
dude.
here's the
he
thing.
will.
We
He will.
learned. We
If y'all
learned.
pull up,
Van got that thing on him.
Yeah, he keeps
if y'all
it
pull up,
ready.
I don't care if
Yeah.
y'all know why. If y'all pull up, it's gonna go. It almost happened to somebody a couple of weeks ago. I was on a walk and I had my earphones in, and somebody goes, "Is that Bozeman?" And I turned around. I'm like, "Are you Van?" I was about to. Hey, nigga,
Okay.
watch out. But I didn't realize that there's like a D&D shop. I don't know if you know it, Steve. Like a adventure shop up here where they play games. They have like 3-4
Oh, yeah.
tables in here where they play games. I actually stopped, walked in, and watched them play the little games for like 20 or 25 minutes.
It's pretty
That's
Don't
how
call
fun.
much
them little
fun.
games, though.
Well,
They got
were
board
little
games, they got
'cause this
tabletop
wasn't
adventures, they're
D&D.
one-offs.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
wasn't D&D.
Oh.
Yeah.
They weren't playing D&D. It wasn't. They were playing like smaller games. Like people were playing like, and they were
Tabletop
rolling
board
and doing
games,
all
yeah.
kinds. Yeah. It was very fun to watch. I might go over and join them if they let Black people in there. So you guys aren't going to want to miss Ring Quest. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We had so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. I would do it every month. On Wednesday, the Midnight Boys return with the Blackest Movies draft. More fun for you
More
guys.
Steve, more content.
More Steve. More Steve, man. Give us
There we
more
go.
Steve. More Steve. More Steve. More Steve. Our producers are. I had a joke, but I'm going to leave it because people say I get too freaky on the pod. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it.
Okay.
I've heard what you guys say. You guys say, oh, I'm pervy old man Van Uncle. I've heard the criticism. I take the criticism, guys.
The plane is
I
at the
apologize.
runway. The plane is at
I
the runway.
apologize. That was a good joke, too. I'll do a good joke. Our producers are Aleya, SOB Zenieris. Jonathan, I don't want to come to work, Kermah. Jomi the Explainer, Adeniran.
Okay, man.
Hashtag Jomi the Family Man on social.
Nah,
An
we're not
additional
doing that
production
slide, bro.
from
Nigga, you
Arjuna
got COVID.
Ramgopal.
We're not doing
Yeah,
that.
like additional production from Arjuna Ramgopal. I see what y'all doing. I saw that, Kerm. You thought that slide. Jonathan, I want to come to
bro.
work, Kermah.
Nigga, you got COVID. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nah.
Tested negative twice.
We're not letting that shit
We
ride,
not.
bro.
Man,
Jonathan,
stay your sick ass inside. My black ass was not coming to work.
Like-
Kerm
I did
innocent.
not want Jonathan. I don't want to
Kerm
come to work,
innocent,
Kermah.
bro.
It's fine. Okay, it's cool. All right.
Kerm innocent.
Yeah, leave him alone, man. Leave him
Right.
alone.
Chuck, take us out.
Cat 4 stinks. I will never be an MCU lackey. But contrary to popular belief, I still believe in Anthony
That's
Mackie.
good. He's a good.